Hi there, my name is Teacher Michael, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Today's Brand Ambassador video is a little bit different than some of the other ones that I've done, and that's because today we are going to look at some real life footage of me interacting with some of my students in the classroom. There have been a few moments in the class recently that really stuck with me for various reasons. And I'm sure if you're anything like me, you've had these moments before where not only are you teaching the students something, but you also learn something from them in return. And I'd like to share a few of these teachable moments with you. So if you're ready, grab some popcorn, get a blanket, get all cozy, grab a little snack, and let's get into it. The first moment I want to share with you happened with a student of mine named Winnie. Winnie is a level 3 student, and she is one of my regulars. And what I took away from this moment was how important it is to positively reinforce your students. So let me set this up. Here's what happened. We were singing a little bit of a song, and at the beginning part of the song, there was a little element where I was singing Chinese. I was saying, ni hao ma.
Ni hao, ni hao, ni hao ma. That's Chinese.
你好,你好,你好, Ma. That's Chinese.
And I thought that was kind of fun because it doesn't happen often in the class where I'm speaking Chinese to the child. So it was really a fun moment. She enjoyed hearing me try to say ni hao ma. And then I went on to ask her, how do you say I feel happy or I am happy in Chinese?
Winnie, how do I say I am happy?
And she told me how to say it. And there was this weird moment where all of a sudden I got really nervous because I realized I was about to say this expression back to her, and I didn't know how to do it. I've never spoken Chinese in my life, and even though it was me speaking to one of my students, I was super nervous about it. So very timidly, I sort of tried to over-articulate what she had said to me.
我很开心.
我很开心.
And her response was incredible. She went wild. She was like, yes!
我很开心.
Yes.
That's right?
Yes, you did it. And in that moment, I kind of realized that this is what our students are doing every day. They are feeling super nervous to speak a foreign language, and they need that positive reinforcement. They need someone like Winnie, someone like you, to be clapping and jumping for joy and saying, yes, that's exactly how you say it. I really took that energy, I took that lesson through the rest of that specific class and into all of my other classes for the week, and just always constantly reminded myself that that's how I should be positively reinforcing the students when they do an exceptional job. So I hope you can do the same. I hope you can be just as enthusiastic as Winnie was in that moment in that class. The next moment I want to share with you came from a student of mine named Toby. I believe he is looks like a level 4 student. And during this lesson, we were talking about different professions and maybe what profession he would like to do when he's older. After reading a story about different jobs, the question was, what is more important? To do what you want for a job or to do something that a lot of people do? I mean, that had me thinking for a moment. That is a question that I've been asking myself for a long time. Not a lot of the jobs that I've chosen in my life as a theater person, a circus performer, a puppeteer, now an online teacher, none of those were conventional career choices. Over the years, I was constantly thinking to myself, what is more important? I want to do what I want to do. I want to do what I love doing. But, financially, it wasn't always the appropriate choice. It certainly wasn't what everybody else was doing. So that is a question that I've spent a lot of time thinking about in my life. So it was really interesting to hear Toby's perspective on this. And I was really surprised by what he said. This is what he said to me after hearing that question.
The life is more important than the job.
life is more important than the job.
Yes.
I mean, this kid's what, 9 years old? I was not speaking like that in a second language about, my eventual relationship to work when I was that age. What a thought. I really was so impressed in that moment. The life is more important than the job. And I wanted to know more from him, so I challenged him to elaborate on that answer.
What do you mean?
Because your life is important than your jobs. Because if you earn a lot of money and you feel tired and have some ill, maybe you will die. So I think the life is more important than the jobs.
I think you're right.
Geez, I mean, I think basically what he was saying is if you work a lot just to make a whole bunch of money and you come home and you're tired, you might get sick.
Maybe you will die. So I think the life is more important than the jobs.
Just as a little exercise before we move on to the third and final clip, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I'd love to know your answer to that question. What is more important? To do what you love or to do what everybody else is doing? Let me know. The third clip that I want to share with you came from a class that I had with a student named Max. Max is 7 years old. Before me, Max had taken 256 VIP Kid classes. So I suspected from the onset that he was going to be, quite proficient. Let's take a look at my introduction to him and our first few moments together.
Hello, Max. My name is Teacher Michael. It's nice to meet you.
Do you know Zima at a classroom?
So, okay, let me stop there.
Do I know Zima?
Do I know Zima?
Who is Zima?
Who is Zima? So I knew right away that this was going to be an interesting class. I could tell that from the get-go, he was willing to go off topic. Anyway, here's what happened next.
Actually, I have 2 English names. Zima is me.
He's got 2 English names.
Oh, you are Zima.
Yeah.
And where are you from?
I'm from China, but now I'm at Canada.
You're in Canada?
Canada, represent.
I'm at Toronto.
All right, he's in Toronto.
Oh.
So this gives me another piece of insight as to how I might want to conduct this class. So this is a student from China, now living in Canada. My guess is that his parents are signing him up for this class so that he can get better at conversational English. I was willing throughout this lesson to go wherever his attention wanted to go. It wasn't as important for me to get him to parrot what I was saying. I want him to be able to communicate his ideas on his own. Sometimes you can just adapt a little bit. You can use your own discretion to decide what you think is in the best interest of the child in that moment. And it turns out that was the right decision. He has been trying to book my class ever since. We've had some amazing classes together, and his parents are leaving me wonderful feedback. Anyway, that wasn't the end of our class. That was just the beginning. So,
What can you see in this picture?
I can see deer, cow, and sheep, and river, and mountain.
Very good. I can see
How can you make that?
this.
Yeah.
I made these myself.
it's true, I did make those myself. Some of you may have seen that video, but if you haven't, I would highly recommend you check it out. Making those eyeballs will only cost you about $5, 15 minutes of your time, and they are so fun. I use them every single day. The next part of this it was one of my favorite moments in the class because there was a little bit of a game that started happening with the eyeballs between the two of us.
What is it?
Oh, okay. Let's try.
You cannot see me.
So he doesn't believe that I can see him with the eyeballs, so he's holding up some fingers.
5.
I was cheating here the whole time, obviously.
10.
So that's it. It was a fun class. It took a lot of energy. He was a very, very energetic student. I just wanted to have fun with him. This was our first class together, and I guess the main takeaway, the thing that I want you to take away from that is that sometimes the goal of my first class with a student, sometimes it is literally just to build rapport with them, to have a fun class, to create some laughter so that they want to come back to my class. And then in the second, third, fourth, and fifth class, we can get down to business and start learning some real English stuff. So again, I just use my discretion. I suggest you use yours. You are the best judge in these moments of what your student needs. I hope you enjoyed that video. It's not often that I get to share some of these real moments from my classroom, and it's something that I might want to do more of in the future. So if that's something you'd like to see, please let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future videos. And until the next video, I will see you on the internet. Peace.